Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Today is Wednesday, December 2, 2020. Fox report. Gaza plans new lockdown amid rising coronavirus cases. Authorities in the Gaza Strip are planning a new lockdown as coronavirus infections skyrocket, Hamas officials told Fox News. The Palestinian Health Ministry reported 735 new coronavirus cases in Gaza on Wednesday, bringing the total to 22,209 since the outbreak began earlier this year. The capacity of the health facilities is exhausted because of the long-standing Israeli siege and because of the inability to cope with the increasing number of positive cases, said senior Hamas official Drive.
CNN report. Love Jihad. Indian states want to pass laws to prevent interfaith marriages. The move is unconstitutional and misogynistic. Akanksha Singh is a journalist based in Mumbai, India. She covers politics and social justice, and has written for the BBC, The Independent and the South China Morning Post, among others. Follow her on Twitter at Akanksha Singh. The views expressed in this commentary are her own. Read more opinion at CNN. Currently, marriage laws between India's majority Hindu population and minority Muslims are being drafted in 5 states, all of which are led by the right-wing, Hindu nationalist, Bharatiya Janata Party (BJP).
Fox report. Behind the final Trump team push for Saudi Arabia to normalize ties with Israel. White House senior advisor Jared Kushner touched down in the Gulf this week in what observers say is a last-ditch effort to secure final prominent foreign policy wins for the Trump team with Saudi's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, known colloquially as MBS. In particular, Kushner's endeavor is to continue threading a fabric of Muslim-majority countries normalizing diplomatic ties with Israel, with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia next on the agenda to follow in the footsteps of the United Arab Emirates (UAE), Bahrain and Sudan.
Fox report. Hunter in Minnesota fatally shoots another hunter after mistaking him for deer. A Minnesota man out hunting at the end of last month was shot and killed when another hunter mistook him for a deer, authorities said. The deceased father, who resided in Bemidji, was later identified as 28-year-old Lucas R. Dudley. He had been hunting deer on the evening of November 25 near Nebish Township's Red Lake Reservation, according to the Beltrami County Sheriff's Office. As dusk fell, another hunter had seen rustling in the bushes and fired a round from his rifle.
BBC report. Pat Patterson, first openly gay professional wrestler, dies aged 79. Patterson, who created the original format for the popular Royal Rumble event, left an indelible mark on wrestling, the WWE said in a statement. Wrestling stars including Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and John Cena have paid tribute to a man who helped so many. The cause of Patterson's death has not yet been disclosed. His career in the industry, not just in the ring but as a commentator and a trainer for younger potential stars behind the scenes, spans 6 decades.
CNN report. Stein Mart is being relaunched online. Stein Mart, the bankrupt discount department store, is being given a second life by the same company that recently purchased Pier 1 Imports. Retail e-commerce ventures Rev, an investment firm that buys beleaguered brands and relaunches them online, announced Wednesday it bought the intellectual property of Stein Mart for $6 million. It's the latest struggling brand that Rev has purchased, joining Pier 1, Modell's Sporting Goods and, most recently, Radio Shack.
Al Jazeera report. U.S. shortens COVID-19 quarantine in hopes of greater compliance. The United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC) has offered an alternative shortened quarantine period for individuals exposed to the coronavirus who show no symptoms, hoping it will increase compliance in the country. While the agency still recommends a 14-day quarantine, it said Wednesday that those who have been exposed to an infected person but have shown no symptoms can choose to quarantine for only 7 days if they have tested negative for COVID-19.
CNN report. The company that literally started Silicon Valley is moving to Texas. Hewlett-Packard traces its origins to 1938, when Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard rented a garage in Palo Alto, California. Now, HP Enterprises, a descendant of the pioneering company, is moving to Texas. The company announced its move Tuesday. Houston is currently Hewlett-Packard Enterprises' largest U.S. employment hub, and the company is constructing a new campus in the city. HPE will also consolidate a number of its Bay Area sites to its San Jose campus.
BBC report. Baby girl born from record-setting 27-year-old embryo. The newborn baby's embryo was frozen in October 1992, and stayed that way until February 2020, when Tina and Ben Gibson of Tennessee adopted the embryo. Molly is believed to have set a new record for the longest frozen embryo to have resulted in a birth, breaking a record set by her older sister, Emma. "We're over the moon," Ms. Gibson said. "I still get choked up. If you would have asked me 5 years ago if I would have not just one girl, but two, I would have said you were crazy," she said.
Al Jazeera report. Boeing 737 MAX returns to the skies with journalists on board. Boeing Co. 737 MAX staged its first post-grounding flight with media on board on Wednesday, as carriers seek to demonstrate to passengers that the redesigned jet is safe after a 20-month safety ban. In another display of confidence, European budget airline Ryanair was set to place a hefty order for up to 75 additional 737 MAX jets, industry sources said. Wednesday's American Airlines 737 MAX flight was a 45-minute hop from Dallas, Texas, to Tulsa, Oklahoma in the United States.
Fox report. Alexis Sharkey's mom convinced foul play to blame in daughter's death. The mother of a Texas social media influencer found dead near a Houston highway said Wednesday that she's convinced foul play was involved in her daughter's death. "There's no doubt in my mind," Stacey Robinalt told Fox News from her home in northwestern Pennsylvania. "We're struggling a great deal," Robinalt said, adding that she and her family are waiting for the full autopsy report to be completed. Sharkey's body was found Saturday morning on a stretch of road in northwest Houston. The Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences identified her body, according to authorities. The Houston Police Department said in a news release that Sharkey was found.
Deutsche Welle report. Merkel, Germany's lockdown light to stretch into January. Germany federal and state governments have agreed to extend the country's current partial lockdown until January 10, Chancellor Angela Merkel announced on Wednesday. Merkel will hold talks with Germany's 16 state leaders again on January 4 to reassess the situation. "Generally, things will remain as they are now," Merkel said. When the December lockdown measures were initially announced, regional leaders and Merkel had made clear that the restrictions would likely apply well into January.
Al Jazeera report. Leave the ferret home. U.S. airlines get tough on in-flight animals. The United States government has decided when it comes to air travel, only dogs can be service animals, and other animal companions used for emotional support do not count. The U.S. Transportation Department issued a final rule on Wednesday that aims to settle years of tension between airlines and passengers who bring their pets on board for free by saying they need them for emotional support. For years, the department required airlines to allow animals with passengers who had a doctor's note saying they needed the animal for emotional support.
Deutsche Welle report. Coronavirus. German rail operator rolls out plan for safer Christmas travel to handle an expected increase of Christmas passengers as coronavirus cases remain high. Deutsche Bahn (DB) announced on Wednesday it would run special trains over the holidays to allow more room on board and to maintain social distancing. With passenger numbers well down on normal levels, DB still expects reduced business over the Christmas period compared to normal years, but also a sharp uptick on the current traffic.
BBC report. South Africa's lottery probed as 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 drawn. Tuesday's Powerball lottery saw the numbers 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 drawn, while the Powerball itself was, you've guessed it, 10. Some South Africans have alleged a scam and an investigation is underway. The organizers said 20 people purchased a winning ticket and 5.7 million won rand, $370,000, £278,000 each. Another 79 ticket holders won 6,283 rand each for guessing the sequence from 5 up to 9 but missing the Powerball.
Deutsche Welle report. Switzerland bucks European trend by opening ski slopes. While Italy, France and Germany have decided to close ski resorts as a result of the coronavirus and Austria will only open slopes but not hotels and restaurants, Switzerland has announced that it will allow business as usual. There is an economic aspect that we cannot deny. It is extremely important. It is not the skiing that's dangerous for transmitting the virus but the stuff that comes after skiing, the après-ski. And here we took extremely strict measures to limit the risks.
CNN report. Why was the UK first to authorize a coronavirus vaccine? The UK became the first Western country to authorize a COVID-19 vaccine on Wednesday, marking a pivotal moment in the global fight against coronavirus. The Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine has been granted emergency authorization by British regulators, and the first doses are expected to be rolled out from early next week. Britain has been one of the countries hardest hit by the pandemic, with the highest death toll in Europe, and its government has been heavily criticized for its handling of the crisis.
Thank you for watching 5 p.m. recap. To be notified, you can subscribe our channel and activate the bell.